You mentioned the stat before, Kay, about Gary Neville, and I know you absolutely love that stat, but this one has been doing the rounds as well. Ruben Amorim has managed Manchester United in 28 matches against current Premier League teams. He has overseen 4 wins. That's a win percentage under 14.5%, and 2 of those wins came in his first month in charge. Do you still have faith that he's the right man, Wayne, to lead Manchester United forward?
It's difficult, and obviously to sit here and say 100%. I don't think anyone could do that. I don't think Ruben Amorim would probably say that himself with what we've seen over the since he's been at the club. But I think the recruitment has been good in the summer. I still want to see 2 or 3 more players be brought in. I'd like to see that.
We'll get back to Wazza in just a quick second, but remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D video hits. And as ever, if there's something on your mind, if something is bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please express it in the comments. The Big D reads all of the comments, and he's always interested in what is on your mind. Anyway, in this clip, Wayne Rooney is going to be reacting to Manchester United's dismal 1-1 draw with Fulham at Craven Cottage, and he's going to be giving his thoughts on whether or not Ruben Amorim is the right man for the job and all that good stuff. And he does point out a couple of things which the Big D has been sort of saying for a good few months now since Ruben Amorim took over, and it's interesting to see. Well, it's interesting to hear Wayne Rooney say the same things that I've been saying as well. But stick around for after the clip, because the Big D is going to be reacting and elaborating on what Wayne Rooney himself had to say. Here's Wazza.
Manchester United have just drawn 1-1 away at Fulham. The fans are angry. What we want to know is, how is Wayne feeling?
Yeah, it was a disappointing result. I thought the start of the game was really positive, really taking the game to Fulham, some nice interplay. And then, from getting the goal and then second half really passive again, too easy to get onto the back line, and obviously Fulham getting equalised, and it looked like Fulham were going to go and win the game. So thankfully they never come away with a draw, but I still think there's a lot to be worked on, and it's early on in the season, of course it is, but I think United really needs to hit the ground running this season, and 1 point from 6 now is obviously a bit of a worry.
Go on, Kay. Oh, you're like a coiled spring.
Do you know what it is?
Go on, just go. Just get it off your chest.
I think what Wayne said there was really important. We needed to hit the ground running this season, and with his record last year, he really needed to get some wins under his belt really quickly. And I think he's got a worse win record than Gary Neville at Valencia. And it's just the same errors keep cropping up, the same players making the same mistakes. And I feel like the lethargy that you see with a lot of the players is sort of starting to creep in with players like Cunha and Mbeumo as well. Like, they look sharp at the beginning of the game, and then it gets towards the end. And
I think just for me on that, I think the one thing, players are getting moved around the pitch into different positions. You see Mason Mount playing 2 or 3 positions, Cunha and Bueno, Ahmad. Players are moving into different positions, and then from that you can't get a settled, running the team doing the same thing and one thing. So I know from a player who's done that myself, that can be very frustrating. Then all of a sudden you become fed up of it, and that shows through body language as well. And I just hope that doesn't start to happen with these new players, because I think there's a lot of ability in there, and already early on, the worry is, we've got 3 centre backs, but it's too easy for forwards, midfield players to get onto the centre back. So if anything, you should see at the start of a new season, United saying, right, last season's gone, let's make sure we have a good start, let's stick together, and already they're starting to see them gaps. So that's a big concern for me.
What would you do, Wayne, if you were manager?
I don't know. My track record isn't great as well. So, no, I don't know. Listen, I think the first thing you'd want to do is say, right, we need to be hard to beat. That's the first thing. Let's be hard to beat. Let's be hard to, concede chances against. And today, again, I think the goalkeeper off corners, every corner you worry when the ball goes in the box. But I think you just have to say, let's do the basics right. And I'm sure we'll get on to Tottenham in a bit. But Tottenham have started the season well because they've got the basics right. And I think that's the first thing as a manager. You really need to try and make sure you fix.
It's funny how things can change in a week, though, wasn't it? You two were fairly optimistic, fairly positive after last Sunday. But is that what is so frustrating, Kay? The fact that you saw some kind of green shoots of what Amorim was trying to do, and then it feels like another step backwards and back into all the problems that you had last year?
Well, yeah, because you could play well against Arsenal because it's Arsenal and they've come second 3 years in a row. And if you play well against them, it's quite encouraging. But this is no disrespect, but it's Fulham. Do you know what I mean? And it's just we were expecting a promising result, but that just didn't manifest. And I don't know what can change right now. We're screaming out for a midfielder, and he doesn't fancy Kobbie Mainoo to come on, and he puts on two central defenders when we're trying to get a goal. I'm just confused as to what he's thinking.
Were you surprised as well, Wayne, that maybe they've spent all that money on Sesko and then he doesn't start? Does he need to be starting?
Yeah, you'd say so. I think that's what will end up happening. And that's what I was saying before. You know, when he comes on, Cunha's going out wide and etc. So where Cunha in both games has looked more dangerous from when he's played as that central role. So then when he goes out wide, it looks like he doesn't really want to be there. If that makes sense, but Sesko, I think, will become the starting forward. I don't know how many minutes he's played in pre-season, so maybe he's just easing him into the team.
Wayne, from a player's perspective, how important is pre-season? Because I know people talk about it, but how important is it really?
It's hugely important, I think, to get everything you want. Of course, your fitness, but the manager has the opportunity to put all his his tactical nous into it, and we're seeing that he probably needs this pre-season going into the season. He's had this pre-season. He's spent money, brought players in. So you would have just liked to have seen a bit more and seen the players understand the roles a bit better. And even with the changes, pre-season allows you to look at, if we're chasing a goal, this was how the team's going to look the last 30 minutes. And I think at the minute what we're seeing is off the cuff really towards the end of the game. So yeah, I think there's no excuses now for the manager this season. He's got to start getting results and get results quickly, because once you start getting into October, November, then I think if the results don't change drastically, then that's where the pressure comes.
You mentioned the stat before, Kay, about Gary Neville, and I know you absolutely love that stat, but this one has been doing the rounds as well. Ruben Amorim has managed Manchester United in 28 matches against current Premier League teams. He has overseen 4 wins. That's a win percentage under 14.5%, and 2 of those wins came in his first month in charge. Do you still have faith that he's the right man, Wayne, to lead Manchester United forward?
It's difficult, and obviously to sit here and say 100%. I don't think anyone could do that. I don't think Ruben Amorim would probably say that himself with what we've seen over the since he's been at the club. But I think the recruitment has been good in the summer. I still want to see 2 or 3 more players be brought in. I'd like to see that. But yeah, it's difficult to say, right, this is going to be our manager for the next 5 years on what we've seen, and we'd love to see him turn that round. And listen, and sometimes we might be going too quick on this because Manchester United brings a lot more of attention. It's only 2 games into the season, but Kay said it before, the worrying sign is we're seeing things what we were seeing last season, and that's a concern. I would like to have hoped that they all mistakes and players walking and easy to play against at times would have been gone, but today that was a bit of a worry.
The one good positive is they all look fitter and they all look like they could run a lot more. So if we enter all the players into the London Marathon, we might have a shot at winning that.
It's April, so we've got a bit of time to get them completely ready as well. Okay, well, that was a nice...
See, the thing is, and I've been saying this for a while, and Wayne Rooney's just kind of alluded to it there a little bit, and that is, it's nut-cutting time now for Ruben Amorim. He's had long enough now to implement his system to most of the players that are already there. He's got rid of all the dead wood, and Manchester United have spent an absolute fortune getting the players in that he wanted, right? So he's got no excuses now. No excuses. We should have beaten Arsenal. At the end of the day, we should have beaten Arsenal, or at the very least, we should have drawn. We battered them. We should have been more clinical. Fulham, We should have beaten Fulham. We should have been more clinical. It's the same thing as last season. We can't score. But it's difficult for Man United to score if you've got Mason Mount playing as one of the forward positions. I don't know what it is with these foreign managers, because Erik ten Hag was the same. They all love Mason Mount. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Mason Mount, but you can't shoehorn him into a position that he's not ready for, or he's not good enough for, or he's not suited, or doesn't suit what the team is trying to do. Why is he playing in one of those number 10 positions? Bruno Fernandes is the best attacking player at Manchester United. That is a fact. He's Manchester United's only world-class player, outside of maybe De Ligt. I would still say De Ligt's a world-class defender. But that's another story. Anyway, but Bruno Fernandes is Manchester United's best attacking player. He's our best player. So why is he playing in midfield? When you've got a player that's scored as many goals and created as many goals as Bruno Fernandes, he needs to be playing close to the opposition box so he can have the best opportunities to create and score goals. It's not rocket science. Why do these foreign coaches insist on trying to overcomplicate this game? All you need to do is put the ball in the back of the net. To do that, you play your best attacking players up front so that they can do what you want them to do. It doesn't make sense. And why is Kobbie Mainoo not having a game? What's wrong with him? I mean, I don't get it. Has Mason Mount got some photographs of Ruben Amorim or something? And he's just hanging it over his head saying, well, if you don't play me, this is going on Twitter. What's going on? Twitter, I mean X. You know what I'm talking about. But I don't understand. It's nut cutting time for Ruben Amorim. If he doesn't figure out a way to get this team scoring goals, which shouldn't be hard, the pressure's going to start to mount, because all of that goodwill he's miraculously built up, despite the dismal season last season, it's going to evaporate very, very, very quickly. I'm even getting people on my feeds, on my chats, and on my comments calling for Ruben Amorim to be sacked already. And I've said he's got until about October to start getting this team purring. If it's going to be more of the same, like insipid draws, losses, things like that, a crap 1-0 win here or there, I mean, how long is it going to be before Ineos get rid? And if they do get rid, then what are they going to do? Because they're building a squad that is tailored towards 3-4-3. And, they're selling all of our wingers. They've got rid of Rashford, they want rid of Sancho, they want rid of Garnacho, and they want rid of Anthony. I mean, what wingers do we have left? I mean, fair enough, we've got Mbeumo. But who else are we going to play, I just don't understand what's going on. I don't get why this is so difficult. I really don't understand. But what do you guys think? What does Ruben Amorim need to do to get this team scoring goals? Is it a case of just starting Sesko up front? Is that what it is? Is it dropping Mason Mount? Is it dropping Bruno Fernandes? There are one or two people saying that they want Bruno Fernandes to be sold, which is insane. But nonetheless, thoughts in the comments, and the Big D will see you in the next one.